Yo, what's up everybody? How you doing? This is your Coach Renz, and today in this video I'm going to tell you the biggest mistake you're making when it comes to the law of sowing and reaping, when it comes to the law of compensation, when it comes to the law of cause and effect. I'm going to tell you your biggest mistake that you're making. Now, just to make sure that you guys have a full understanding of this before we go there, we all may or you may not know that the law of sowing and reaping is the same as the law of cause and effect. Many of you call it different names based on what your spiritual beliefs are or your philosophical thought process is. But either way, we're talking about the same thing. The law of compensation is a slight variation, but still pretty much the same thing. So what we're gonna do first is break down what is the law. What is the law of cause and effect? What is the law of sowing and reaping? Well, we call it sowing and reaping most often simply because it's an easier term to understand from an agricultural mindset. You know, agriculturally, we know that the law of sowing and reaping is the fact that when you plant a seed, when you get a seed and you plant it, that seed at some point is going to germinate. It depends on what kind of soil it's in, but if it's in good soil, it's going to germinate. And then when it does, but even if it's in bad soil, it's going to germinate and it's going to come up. And then when it starts to come up, it's going to produce whatever it was designed to produce. Now, here's the thing about it. The earth doesn't care if you plant an apple seed, an orange seed, a weed, a oak tree, you plant grass seed. It doesn't care what the seed is. The earth doesn't care about what the seed is. It just does whatever that seed is programmed to do. So when you plant a seed, it's going to germinate. And when it germinates, it's going to get the light. It's going to get that sunlight. It's going to get that water. And when it gets the sunlight and the water and it's planted in the soil, then it's going to birth out some type of fruit, whatever it is, whether it's more grass, whether it's the grass is the fruit. An oak tree produces oaks. You know, an orange tree is going to produce orange. The apple tree produces apples. The pineapple tree is going to produce pineapples. The rose seeds will produce the rose. So no matter what it is going to produce what it's designed to do. The apple tree, the apple seed will not produce oranges. It just won't do it. It goes against the laws of nature. So the idea of the law of sowing and reaping is that whatever you sow, whatever seeds you sow, that is what you will reap. That is what you will reap. So here's the thought process. Your brain is the soil. Your brain is the earth. Your brain is that fertile ground. The seed is your thoughts. Your thoughts are the seed. Your emotions is the sun. And your actions is the water. You see, your brain is the fertile soil because every thought you have resonates and stays and comes out of your brain. It's in your thought process. So that's the soil. The thought is the seed because the thought has all the information of what it is that you want to grow, what it is you want to manifest and have. And your emotions is the sunlight because the sunlight just it embodies the seed, embodies the soil, and causes it to reach out for it. If you ever play golf, you'll learn that as the sunlight moves around the earth, moves across the golf course, the grass bends and follows the sun. So your seed, your information in the seed is going to follow your emotions. You may want to call this your energy. It's going to follow your energy. And see, the water is represented by your action. As the Taoist says that if you put the water into the teapot, it becomes the teapot. You put the water into the cup, it becomes the cup. Water can either flow or it can crash. The thing about your actions are going to have movement. They're going to have energy. They're going to have a flow. They're going to have a crash. They're going to have that action going on. Water is an action. You see the action. You see the water can either be going down the stream or it can be crashing over the waterfall. It could be the waves going out into the sea or it can be the waves crashing into the beach. Your actions are going to determine how you it can move. Your action moves, your action changes, your action crashes, your action fits into whatever it is the current energy flow is asking for it to do. So that is why The law of cause and effect, the law of sowing and reaping. For every cause there is an effect, and for every effect there is a cause. That nothing begins without a thought. So when you want to grow something in your life, you want to have greatness in your life, you want to have money in your life. You can't have money in your life if you're not willing to plant that seed first. You have to first decide what it is I want to have. How much money do I want to have? How much money do I want to earn? You know, and why do I want to earn this money? What does that money mean to me emotionally? What does it mean? Does the money emotionally mean something to me just because I have paper? Or is the money mean something emotional to me because it gives me a certain standard of living? It puts me in a certain house. It puts me in a certain way of dress. It puts me in a certain vehicle. It puts me in a position to go and travel and do other things. It puts me in a position to secure my kids' future. It puts me in different positions to do certain things that I want to have in my life. The things that I have decided is happiness. It puts me in a position to have more of those things. You see, in order for my life to be happy, if I need to travel, I can travel on certain different types of money. I don't have to have $1 million to travel. I can travel on 40. But whatever I decide my level of travel needs to be in order for me to have happiness, money is required. So me obtaining money is something that generates happiness in my life. So therefore, I have to plant the right seeds in order to obtain the right amount of money. You see, I can't plant the seed of I want to travel like a millionaire, but I'm working a job and not trying to strive for anything higher in that position. I'm not investing. I'm not building a business. I'm not trying to become the CEO of the company I'm working for. If I'm not doing the things that can make me into a millionaire, then that's not my true thought. That's not my true thought. That's just a wish, a hope, a prayer, a dream. But it's not my true thought. So that's the law of cause and effect. That's the law of sowing and reaping. You sow, you reap what you sow. If you reap negativity, you will. If you reap negativity, it's because you sown negative seeds. You sown weeds around your dreams. You sown weeds around the flower that you're trying to blossom into. You're trying to have a great relationship, but you surround that relationship with weeds, with the wrong type people. You surround it in the wrong environment. You surround it with the wrong attitude. You surround it with the wrong actions. Then, of course, you're drowning and choking and killing the relationship. The Book of Wisdom says that some of the seeds fell into some certain ground, and in that ground, thorns and thistles grew up around it, and it choked out the seed. So you may say you want to have a great relationship, but you're letting weeds choke it out. You may say that you want to have great health, but you keep going to the fast food restaurant and skipping your workouts, and so you let the weeds choke it out. You have to be able to garden your thoughts, garden your actions, garden all these things around you, the people around you, so that you're not choking out the seeds that you're planting to have greatness. But that's not the thing that's killing you. That's not the thing that you're missing the most. That's not the thing that's causing you to lose out on manifesting whatever it is that you desire to have in your life. What's causing you to miss it is the seeds of inaction, the seeds of inactivity, the seeds of procrastinating thoughts. That's what's causing you to miss out on your dreams. That's what's causing you to not fulfill your goals. Many of you have to rewrite your goals every year, and it's the same goals, or you've been minimizing the goals because you haven't been able to achieve your current goals. So, like on my YouTube channel, one of my goals was to have 2,000 subscribers. Well, I've reached 2,000 subscribers, and I thank everybody for that, and I appreciate it. But I've reached the 2,000 subscribers. So let's say my next goal is to reach 10,000 subscribers. And let's say I put that goal to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year, 2018. Well, if I don't do it, if I don't reach it, then the next year I start saying, well, it's 8,000. I want to reach 8,000 by the end of 2019. And if I don't reach it, then I want to reach 6,000 by the end of 2020. You see, you keep diminishing your goals because you're not reaching your goals. But I may not be reaching my goals because maybe I'm not putting the right tag words at the base of my video. Maybe my videos aren't coming across to enough people or aren't being done well enough. Maybe it doesn't have enough animation in it. Maybe the subject matters are not titled correctly. Maybe there's a bunch of maybes that could be going on that I'm not paying attention to, that I'm reluctant to go and do the research or go do, and that's why I'm not hitting my goals. You see, if you are saying to yourself that your goal is to lose 30 pounds by August, right? Right now it's March. By August, I want to lose 30 pounds. But if this week goes by and you don't work out, the next week go by and you don't eat right, it is not that you planned it. You didn't think about not eating right. You didn't think about not exercising. You just allowed life to go without you doing it. You just let it flow. You just procrastinated. You just ignored the situation. You ignored your goal. You didn't give it life. You didn't give it life. And that is the thing that's causing you to lose more often than not, is you're not giving life to your seed. You're ignoring it. You say that you want to work out, but then you just let your day go without thinking about working out, without planning to work out, without making sure your clothes are ready for go work out, without making sure your schedule is set up to work out. And even if life happens and you miss it, you don't say, okay, I missed yesterday, but today's a new day and I'm going to plan better today. I'm going to do better today. And so you get up in the morning and your bag is already packed and ready so that you can go straight to the gym. You get up and you packed your food and you're already ready to walk out the door and your food is already ready to go with you. You got everything situated to make sure that on this day, I eat right. On this day, I exercise right. You got everything ready. Let me give you an example that I hope that you really grasp onto, because this is a vital thing in most people's lives. You know, we were not built to be isolated by ourselves. Too many studies have been done where a baby left alone and ignored has a far harder time in life than one that is even berated. That Matsumoto's test with the rice, that the rice that was ignored spoiled and rotted faster than the rice that received negative comments. Ignoring something creates a far worse situation than berating something. You see, if you are just nagging yourself about not being in a relationship or not doing what you need to do in a relationship, if your wife is just nagging you and saying, you don't date me anymore, you don't make me feel beautiful anymore, if she's constantly nagging you, yes, she's pouring in negative thoughts. She's pouring in those negative thoughts into your mind. She's pouring weeds. She's sowing seeds of weeds around your mind of the good thoughts you may have. But what would be worse is if she ignored it. You don't make her feel loved. She doesn't say a word, but she continues to take care of you. You don't compliment her on how she dressed, but she don't say anything, but she just continues to make sure that your clothes are ready for the next day. You don't take her out on dates, and she doesn't say anything, but she still makes sure that everything in the household is taken care of, and that she goes and hang out with her girlfriends. You continue to ignore her. You play your video games. You get caught up with your friends. You go for your boys' night out. You just ignore her and think that everything is just okay because she's not complaining, while in her loneliness, she's finding that work husband. In her loneliness, she's finding that when she goes painting with the girls, that paint husband. In her loneliness, she's finding that gym husband. In her loneliness, she's finding those emotional attachments to somebody else. And then at some point, she decides to leave. At some point, she decides to cheat. And then all of a sudden, you're feeling hurt. You're feeling disgusted. You're feeling that you've been mistreated, when all the while you ignored her. You ignored what she desired. You ignored what she needed in order to make the relationship great. And because you ignored it, she became toxic towards your relationship. She had to release that toxicity and she placed it somewhere else. And that's why she found the work husband. She found the workout husband. She found the Facebook husband. She found the husband in some other format that provided her the attention that she needed. And yes, not every woman would go that route. Some will find that they will move their attention to drinking. They'll move their attention to social media. They'll move their attention to overeating. They'll move their attention to the children. They'll overly indulge in some other area. But the point is, and the fact is, that they will overindulge in something that will eventually create a negative, a more poisonous negative in your life. I've seen many older couples who had that separation of ignoring what it takes to make the relationship great. And because they did that, they are no longer lovers. They are no longer husband and wife. They are no longer spouses built on love. Now they're just companions because they ignored the law of sowing and reaping. They ignored the law of cause and effect. When you ignore the law, then a far worse situation is at hand. But if you don't ignore the law, if you give great gardening to the law, if you ensure that your relationships are tight, if you ensure that I know that I need to take her out on a consistent basis, if you ensure that I know I need to do whatever it is to make them feel love on a consistent basis, then what you'll find is that you'll have a beautiful relationship filled with love and joy and glory. Now, all of that can be a part of your life. You just have to take it as an opportunity to do so. Don't wait. Don't think about it. Don't procrastinate, because that will spell the end of your relationship. And you don't want that. You want greatness in your relationship. And in order to do that, you have to free yourself. So always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable.